Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And welcome to RPtv. Today is Wednesday, April 27th, 2022. During the pandemic, thousands of people worked to provide help and assistance to those in need. Unfortunately, some people went out of their way to take advantage of the situation. Callie has that report.
A company in Mahwah has recently admitted to price gouging when it sold 100,000 masks to a grocery store chain. The company has brought 250,000 masks, K95 masks, for $1.09 each, but then sold 100,000 of them for $5.25 each, the U.S. Attorney's Office for New Jersey said in a statement Wednesday. The company had never previously sold personal protective equipment. The grocery chain, which was not named in court papers, gave the masks to its employees for free and sold the remaining ones to customers for a loss. Rather than face trial, the company took a deal from the government, pleading guilty last December via video conference in U.S. District Court in Newark. They were fined $67,000.
Now it's time for announcements. Make sure you are ready for the plastic bag ban on May 4th. Grocery stores will no longer be providing plastic bags. You will need to bring your own reusable bags. Joe's Rotisseria is hiring dishwashers. and someone to answer the phone and take orders. Please call Joan at 917-669-7636 for more info or in person to fill out an application. 547 Westfield Avenue, Roselle Park. French Club will meet in room 3 at 2:40 p.m. on Thursday, April 28th. Food Truck Festival. Come and support the RPHS class of 2022. Enjoy delicious food, music, and more. Sunday, May 1st, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Entry fee is $5 for an individual, $10 for a family at 185 W. Webster Avenue, Roselle Park. All proceeds go to project graduation. Marching Band Color Guard open house until April 28th, 6:30 p.m. at the RPHS Blacktop next to the softball field. You are all welcome to join, regardless of ability or past experience. Interested? Come and try out for yourself at our open house.
Respect is accepting everyone for who they are, even if you don't agree with them. Here are some ways to show respect. Listen to others and be present. Be kind. Be thoughtful of others' feelings. Acknowledge others. Don't be rude. Say please and thank you. Remember your basic manners. And ask someone how their day was. And always remember to treat others the way you want to be treated.
A meat processing company in South Jersey has initiated a recall for a huge supply of ground beef due to suspected contamination. Let's go back to Cali for the details.
Gloucester County business has recalled over 120,000 pounds of ground beef over possible E. coli contamination, federal officials announced. The products were produced between February 1st and April 8th and sold to retailers nationwide, the U.S. Department of Agriculture Food and Safety Inspection Service said in an advisory. The meat was sold under names including Thomas Farms, Nature's Reserve, and other labels. Officials say they discovered the potential E. coli during routine testing of imported products linked to lakeside refrigerated services. There were no reported illnesses as of the recall announcement. Consumers who have purchased these products are urged not to consume them. The Food Safety Agency says that these products should be thrown away or returned to the place of purchase.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Hey, do you like video games? Do you like hang out with people who also like video games? Hi, I'm John Gamer, and I have just the club for you. Join the video game club. Unlike most clubs, the video game club is more of a casual type of setting. You don't have to join every single meeting every week and, get kicked out of it. You can just join whenever you like. So if you have something busy, it's perfectly fine. The video game club is on every Thursday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. We have a Nintendo Switch, but you can feel free to bring your own games and consoles. We're also starting esports with Smash Bros. For more information, talk to Mr. Robinson. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and stay tuned for CNN 10.
billionaire is buying another media company. The reasons why and the concerns surrounding the deal are all part of today's Down the Middle coverage. I'm Carl Azus, thankful to have you watching. We'll start with the company being bought. Twitter is a social media giant. Hundreds of millions around the world regularly use it, sharing their thoughts in tweets that are limited to 280 characters or less. The company has grown tremendously since it was founded in 2006, but it's been criticized for how it governs its users and the information they share. Many political conservatives, for example, have said Twitter has a double standard, that it's more likely to censor the tweets or suspend the accounts of conservatives than it is of political liberals. Twitter has denied doing this, saying its policies are based around users' behavior, not where they stand politically, but there have been several instances of Twitter appearing to suppress or put warning labels on conservative publications. That brings us to a question asked recently by billionaire businessman Elon Musk. The founder of SpaceX has said in the past he's not a conservative, that he's an independent whose views are politically moderate. But last month, Musk accused Twitter of failing to adhere to the principles of free speech, and he asked what should be done about that, given that the platform functioned as what he called a public town square. Well, he has decided to buy it. The agreement, which is worth more than $40 billion, is one of the biggest deals ever to put a public company into private ownership. Musk says he wants to make Twitter better than ever by adding new features, making its algorithm clearer to the public, and getting rid of spam bots on the platform. Congressional Republicans called the deal a victory for free speech and said they hoped it would keep technology companies from, quote, censoring users that have a different viewpoint. Musk is not the first billionaire to buy a major media company. In 2013, Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, bought the Washington Post newspaper. In 2018, Mark Benioff, the founder of Salesforce, bought Time magazine. But there are critics of Musk's purchase of Twitter. Brian Todd reports on what they're saying.
The world's richest man buying up one of the world's most powerful social media companies, generating huge buzz tonight. Twitter has agreed to sell itself to Elon Musk, the flamboyant, controversial CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, for about $44 billion, a deal that could bring enormous change to the popular platform.
What we're talking about here is the confluence, really, of a number of conversations we're having nationally and internationally about, the power of billionaires, for example, the influence of tech platforms on democracies.
We're going to have an option.
With this purchase, Twitter will now be led by one of the quirkiest business titans America's ever known. Musk himself has used Twitter and his more than 80 million followers to build his brand, but also to troll others.
It's hard to know when exactly to take him seriously because he is so eccentric. And so when this idea came up, we know that this would cost him billions of dollars.
Even with his quirks, why should the average consumer care that Elon Musk will lead Twitter?
Many of its users are government officials or government accounts or politicians or business leaders. That could have really important effects on how the rest of us perceive many of these topics that have so many influential people engaging on.
One concern critics have, Musk's goal of bolstering free speech on Twitter, and his complaints about Twitter censoring too much content and its permanent bans of some users.
I don't think we actually want an anything goes Twitter, because we've seen that conspiracy theorists are willing to use the platform to spread lies and disinformation, to spread hate and harassment campaigns.
Between January and December of 2021, average gasoline prices in the United States rose about $1 per gallon, or more than 45% over the course of the year. In 2021, average grocery prices rose 3.5%, and this year, prices for gas and food have climbed even higher, in part because of widespread complications from the war in Ukraine. The Biden administration says it's not expecting a food shortage in the U.S. during the months ahead, but that may not hold true for the rest of the world.
Russia's invasion of Ukraine shocked the oil market, sending crude skyrocketing and prices at the pump to record highs. But that could look like a blip compared to food prices. Consider this. Russia supplies 8% of global oil exports, but Ukraine and Russia together supply about 29% of all wheat exports. The prospects of sharply curtailed supplies from the world's breadbasket is sending gyrations through the market. Wheat futures surged in early March and have been volatile ever since. In the U.S., expect higher prices for bread and cereal, which were rising even before Russia launched its war in Ukraine in late February. But most U.S. consumer brands don't rely on imported wheat, so supply disruptions are unlikely. But that's not the case for the rest of the world. Russia and Ukraine are the top wheat suppliers for Egypt, Turkey, Nigeria, Indonesia, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. And it's not just wheat. Ukraine is also a major exporter of corn oil and the world's largest supplier of sunflower oil. Those prices have surged too, as war prevents supply from leaving the country. Fears are growing that soaring prices in the Middle East and Africa could fuel social unrest. In the months before world food prices hit a record high, more than a decade later, prices are again in record territory. And Russia's invasion of Ukraine is only making the situation worse. Cracks are already showing, with recent protests in Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and Peru over rising food and fuel prices. A food crisis driven by shortages, skyrocketing prices, and hunger could bring even more people to the streets.
10-second trivia. What is the most commonly used password online? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, QWERTY, password, or default? Cybersecurity experts say the world's most common password is the first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Passwords and you. Many of us get annoyed at having to type upper and lowercase letters and numbers and special characters to get into online accounts. But cybersecurity is a growing problem, and all of the potential solutions have drawbacks. The Verizon wireless company says weak passwords, or ones that have been figured out or stolen, are responsible for more than 80% of data breaches when someone who isn't authorized gets into an account. Some businesses require two-factor authentication, like when you're texted a code you have to enter in addition to your password, but hackers have reportedly found a way around those as well. CNBC reports that Apple, Google, and Microsoft are working on ways to address password insecurity. Instead of keyboard characters, your face or your fingerprint would be used to unlock your online accounts. Might sound more secure since only you have your exact fingerprint, but an image of that or your face can still be stolen, so constantly having to change and update passwords may still be easier. Amazon has been given the green light to build its HQ2, its second headquarters in Northern Virginia. The estimated cost is $2.5 billion, and it's supposed to have room for 25,000 workers. But it's the Helix design of it, which is unique, that kind of reminded me of soft serve ice cream. Other interpretations weren't all flattering.
When it comes to its new second headquarters to be built across the Potomac from Washington, D.C., Amazon's designers are thinking outside the box.
Give a little bit of your love to me.
The Arlington County, Virginia board gave Amazon a lot of love.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Unanimously approving plans including the Helix building with a walkable ramp surrounded by greenery, sort of a mountain hike that the public could access 2 days a month. Please tell me there's a slide to get down from the top after you hike it. Nope, sorry. The height will be about 350 feet.
Does not have stories in the traditional sense.
Twitter invented stories, comparing the Helix to everything from a rotini to a spaceship in disguise to the Tower of Babel. Some noted similarities to an ancient mosque built back in the 9th century in present-day Iraq. The Helix sure is eye-catching, Amazon in its prime. And while this commenter used a bedazzled emoji to say, "How cool is this building?" someone else weaponized another popular emoji. Looks pretty shiny to us.
Guess if you're one of the world's wealthiest companies, you're gonna put your own spin on things. Try to turn heads, ramp up, spiral up, spring forward, hang around, stay ahead of the curve, design with a twist. Sure, critics might be turned Amaz off, but it will raise eye lines to the skyline. Kingwood Park High School is in Kingwood, Texas. It is great to have you watching. You get today's shout out. I'm Carl Azus for CNN.